And now, ladies and gentlemen of the old world, we're back in business once again with a showdown between the Dark Elves and the High Elves. It's going to be a community match between Samurai Warrior and the dreaded Paper. Now, as far as the Druki build goes here on the front line, for Samurai Warrior, it's going to be a combination of Dread Spears and Bleak Swords, pretty much standard. With a few exceptions, I don't think you really see Dark Elves or even High Elves bring their super elite infantry terribly often. I think maybe in a couple undead matchups, you'll often see like boxes with like Phoenix Guard or Blackguard or things like that, just to hold while your other stuff does the killing. But generally, in most non-undead matchups, I think you're just going to be seeing mostly Bleak Swords and Dread Spears, which, you know, they do the trick, man. In the back, we got Coldwind Knights. Coldwind Knights are quite good against High Elves. They do well against Silver Helms, and they trade relatively cost-effectively against Dragon Princes with their anti-large and armor piercing, and their high armor values at 90 as well. We got 3 of those, a bunch of repeater crossbows, probably the best unit on the Dark Elf roster. I feel like if you removed repeater crossbows from the roster, they would struggle really bad in most matchups. But these things are just super cost effective. Mobile, not the craziest range, you know, compared to other skirmish cab like Reavers and things like that. But their AP punch and their mobility, super powerful. If your opponent screws up for like a second with a big target or any elite infantry or anything like that, they can do some huge work. On top of that, we do have some Dark Riders with shields for the Samurai Warrior. And, you know, how can we not talk about Malus MEMEBLADE? So Malus is here and, yeah, he's a bit of a meme. He's got his Velociraptor Spite and he can transform into a demon, which pretty much is a bit of a, you know, a death sentence for him, which is quite funny. Now, something I was actually talking about is like, I really think if like Malus, if in his demonic form, if he just didn't degrade, I don't think he would be like, you know, busted or broken. I really think like that would even be something that would make Malus like a top tier Dark Elf Lord or, you know, an A tier Dark Elf Lord, but it wouldn't be like that busted compared to like what some other characters can do. Like, yeah, his demon form is really strong. But like look at characters like Larry, for example, like what she can do with her healing, or, you know, any number of other characters like Luther Harkin, right? Like I still don't think he would be that insane. It's like maybe if you lowered his base HP to like 3,200 or something, but gave him like that second life. I don't know. Just spitballing here. I really don't think it would be that bad, but perhaps I'm wrong. And we got a Sorceress of Shadows with Pit of Shades and Occam's Mindrazor. And now for the High Elves, for the Paper, we got Rangers. Rangers should actually a pretty decent choice. I mean, they can trade pretty well with Bleak Swords with their bonus versus infantry and their physical resist. It's got White Lions, double Sisters of Avalorn, which is quite cool. And Teclis does have the lore passive of fire, which means whenever he casts a net, it triggers Kindle Flame, which gives a huge damage spike or 22% damage spike to the Sisters of whatever they're shooting with their fire damage. I think that's quite cool. Dragon Princes in the back and more over here as well. So let's get this party started and see if Malus MEMEBLADE is going to be able to take on Teclis here. So sort of Teclis active, which gives him some of the most insane Winds of Magic regeneration in the game. So probably instantly the High Elves here have shot up to about 30 Winds of Magic. And here are the Sisters of Avalorn going to be opening up on the advancing Dread Spears. Not too many other targets, honestly. And I guess it's a relatively fast battle, so you might as well rip whatever shots you can here in the beginning. But yeah, you want to be shooting, obviously, the Coldwind Knights and Malus over there. And yeah, not the most effective to be shooting the Dark Riders. That's one thing I'm a little bit concerned about. Dark Elves have a huge mobility advantage, and there's only 2 Dragon Princes to cover all that area. And it looks like a net's going to be going down. A pretty wild net for sure. It only gets one of these guys, but it is going to be allowing the Dragon Princes to get a pretty saucy charge for sure. But then they're probably going to get countercharged or focus fired by the repeater crossbows. But full charge bonus coming in. These guys get hammered pretty nicely. And it looks like there's also a Pit of Shades going down in the distance. So yeah, nice Pit of Shades right there on the Sisters. Probably going to be hitting both of those. We'll keep an eye on that situation. But over here, you can see Peklis going to be jumping in. Intercepting these Coldwind Knights, certainly not a bad play. A little bit risky, especially with Malus nearby, but it does buy some time for his Dragon Princes. Now, this is a very risky engagement for the High Elves, considering like they didn't have much support. I mean, outside of the Princes and Teclis, the Dark Elves have had a vast numbers advantage over there and also had the position of the repeater crossbows to really punish. So we'll see if that comes into a play. On the other side here, the Sisters still shooting into infantry, which definitely is not fun. They should rotate over here and be shooting against the Coldwind Knights and really getting pressure where they can in that area. But looks like a Fiery Convocation is going to be coming down. Oh my god, is this actually going to do something? Coldwind Knights are at 33 models. And, ooh, that wasn't bad. About 500 damage. Certainly tickles the pickle there. And the Dragon Princes are holding pretty well considering it's a 3v1. But Peklis now is in a little bit of trouble. And yeah, the Sisters really not being terribly effective right now, which is certainly unfortunate considering how expensive they are. But, you know, the High Elves probably will win all the infantry fights. And the Dragon Princes here do a good job stopping up the Dark Riders, which, you know, might be able to break one of them. We'll go ahead and find out here. But yeah, this is really the important engagement. So Flock of Doom going down once again, going to be slapping the Coldwind Knights, doing a little bit of damage, and Teclis jumping in, and man, oh man, I have to say, the High Elves are actually trading pretty well here, considering how much in terms of not only gold, but numbers they're outvalued. But the Demon's Curse from Malus is down, giving melee defense nerf here, and also a leadership nerf. And the Coldwind Knights coming in to butter that bread, and now it is probably the time for Peklis to get away, but Yeah, Dragon Princes did okay. Considering the circumstances, it wasn't the worst thing in the world. Not good, not terrible. You guys, of course, know the meme. Now here we do have the sisters finally starting to shoot against the Dark Riders, and the Dragon Princes, nice play there by the High Elf player. He gets them to kind of intercept the Dark Riders, although I don't know if that was kind of a, it was kind of like a weird no attack order situation, but High Elves are winning the frontline fight. You can see the Rangers are out trading the Bleak Swords and Dread Spears, the White Lions, of course, winning. And the Druchii infantry, Druchii have very low HP pools on their infantry, so they typically tend to struggle in those frontline engagements, which is a little bit unfortunate. But here we have some Dark Riders coming in. It looks like another Pit of Shades going to be coming down right on these bunched up sisters. That is going to be a beaut right there. And oh, yeah, look at that, man. That's going to do some fat damage. Nice little Cine shot right there. And you can see the sisters are now going to start paying the Troll Toll. They're still at 60 models. They haven't really lost any models yet, but now they're going to start losing them in droves as soon as they just basically get a stiff breeze kind of blowing on them there. Dragon Princes coming in should be able to clear up these units. It looks like Teclis did pay the ultimate Troll Toll. He kind of got swarmed, but was finally able to escape, most likely using the Potion of Koroi. And the Dark Elves here really going to have to make sure to use the best, be really efficient with those Dark Riders and make sure the ammunition is going into the right places. Like, you don't want to be shooting Rangers. Shoot the White Lions, shoot, the Dragon Princes. If you can, tickle the pickle here of these sisters, maybe. But we'll see how that unfolds. Dragon Princes might be overextending a little bit, pulling back now, being charged by the Cold Blow Knights. But this is good for the High Elves. So we do, of course, have the sisters blasting in against the Cold Blow Knights, which is exactly what they want to be doing. Also sending in, rampaging these units and sending in the White Lions. White Lions are actually pretty effective against armored cavalry, so that would be a pretty strong engagement as well. They're now rampaging. High Elves really need to get these infantry involved, and it looks like maybe a Flock of Doom is going to be going down from Teclis once again. Sisters, unfortunately, though, are slightly compromised by that charge from the Cold Ones. Though it will mean the demise of the Cold Ones, it still did need to happen, considering he had all these kind of spare infantry laying around. But it can be tricky in these games, microing all these units here. Teclis gets a regrowth. That's pretty strong. He's attacking Malus MEMEBLADE, but Malus does a much better combat stats and also has the support of the repeater crossbows. So the crossbows shoot again. Looks like Potion of Koroi is active. It might be able to save Teclis, considering that the regrowth is still going. And the Cold Blow Knights do finally bounce back to, not Cold Blow Knights, but the White Lions bounce back to clean up the whole backline situation here. More or less freeing up the sisters. Probably going to get a terror out here on these Dread Spears in just a second from Teclis. There it is. We have 50 of 60 and 33 of 60. That's really not bad. And if the High Elves can just kind of form ranks here and start blasting with the sisters, I mean, they could be in good shape. Malus is still somewhat healthy. I mean, obviously Malus is someone you don't want to focus too much. I mean, I guess you can, but you might as well get him on his way. Turning him into Zarkan a little bit earlier. But now the sisters are going to be turning about face, and I would imagine they'll be ripping some shots into the skirmishers. Yeah, you got to kill those Dark Riders. Those things are really causing a lot of problems. And you can see with that initial volley coming in, Paper is going to be pulling back with the Dark Riders, while Teclis is probably going to cycle charge Malus here. Certainly not a bad idea. I mean, Malus is trapped in some pretty strong infantry, but the Pit of Shades this game has been on point. That's going to do some fat damage. Let's actually watch the HP damage. Yeah, pretty nice right there. Really buttering up those White Lions, who are now down to 67 models, but the sisters are using that time to get a little bit more separation. Rangers are moving in, and here comes ya boy Teclis once again. Thinking about charging in there, but I think he saw the firepower coming from the Dark Riders and decided to pull back, so that was pretty smart. Nice little juke right there. And oh my god, if this lands, holy shit. That fiery convocation, oh, okay, he dodges it. That always gets so exciting. So Malus does pop the blood price, which makes him pretty much a raid boss. 720 weapon strength, he becomes very, very beastly. And I do think going after the Sorceress is a certainly easier prey than Malus, but unfortunately the sisters going to be a little bit compromised here as the High Elf player needs to get those Rangers around to kind of defend them, but yeah, Teclis might be able to kill the Sorceress here. Can't quite see her HP bar, see if he's made contact. Not really. Okay, hasn't gotten the best damage. Some of the sisters stabilize, and this is not a great trade for Malus. He's stuck at a bunch of AP infantry, and White Lions have good general stats. 36 melee attack is certainly not bad, and really, really good AP values, like I said. So every attack that they do connect with against Malus is really doing some big damage. And honestly, it's looking pretty damn good for the High Elves here, as the balance of power does really go in their favor. But I have to say, man, these Pit of Shades all game have been really refreshing. Samurai using some very off-meta spells here. Pit of Shades is still a good spell, mind you. It's just relatively uncommon compared to the prevalence of Pendulum, but Pendulum also did get nerfed, so maybe Pit of Shades is back on the menu. Who knows? So here, Teclis is on the hunt. He's after you. Duran blasting out of the speakers attached to his Phoenix here. He's going to be chasing down that Sorceress of Shadows, going for blood. But remember, my friends, there's one X Factor which we haven't seen, the Great Demon Zarkan. Zarkan. Sounds totally like a 1980s like Skeletor-esque villain or something. That's a lot of infantry, man. That's a ton of Rangers. That is a ton of White Lions here. But yeah, you never know. Malus could certainly bring this game back. I mean, if you could get some good engagements on Teclis, but most of the skirmish cav for the Druchii are being hunted down and finished. It looks like he dove in to try and finish off the sisters, but wasn't quite able to. Sisters are pretty elite, have good leadership. You can see right now they're anchoring at 14 despite being on death's bed. And yeah, it's going to be Malus versus the world pretty much. We got some spears coming back in. Malus does have AoE though. He has an ability called Bloodstorm, which is quite strong. But really what the High Elf player needs to do here is just bait out Zarkan somehow and then, or at least be patient. Yeah, chase off these units. The bird is faster than the Dark Riders. Just hunt them down, pick them off. And when Malus turns into the demon, just scatter to the winds basically. Stay engaged with one unit at a time, of course, if you don't want to be, cycle charging troll. Not that there's anything wrong with cycle charging. I more so mean obeying, tournament rules and things like that. I don't know if this was a tournament game or if this took place on ladder, but I'm getting ladder vibes from this one. I'm not sure why. I suppose it's because Malus is here. Anyways, Malus getting in there. It looks like these sisters are going to be finished off. Dangerously close to army losses here. Dragon Princes are hunting down the Dark Riders. We'll do a little bit of fast forwarding as those guys get chased. Yeah, Peklis wants to hunt them down, but nice play there, pulling them back. Oh, okay. Oh, this could be trouble. Peklis is in trouble, and he counts for a lot on that balance of power. He needs to get away. As a matter of fact, the High Elf player really needs to get his white lines and his infantry in there. Looks like another Flock of Doom is going to be going down while the Dragon Princes kind of hammer in. Peklis, man, don't throw it. You got this game in the bag. All you got to do is move your infantry in. I think maybe he thought that Malus was transformed. Okay, so he baits out the transformation. And look at the balance of power. Zarkan counts for so much because it basically gives you a full health lord. But remember, he is going to be dissipating now. So really the High Elf player just needs to endure. Although we do have some repeater crossbows back. It looks like there's some over here as well. And now Malus MEMEBLADE is going in for the kill. Yeah, this is definitely a ladder battle. I can tell. And you can see the High Elves are just kiting here. And, which obviously is buying some time for them. But yeah, just sending in one unit to engage Zarkan at a time would be smart. The big mistake the High Elf player could make here is blobbing up on top of Malus. Because if you do that, he has a big AoE Soul Stealer effect. So right there is the Bloodstorm. Yeah, I see this is a mistake here. Reaper of Souls is going to come in and do a bunch of damage. Oh my god, and a Pit of Shades as well. Oh, the throws. That's so much damage. That's going to hit everything. Malus MEMEBLADE might actually be able to pull this back. That plus Reaper of Souls just eviscerated the High Elf army. Balance of power comes back, and, if anything, guys, this is a lesson. You've learned a little bit about these tactics here against the dreaded Malus. And man, oh man, that's got to feel pretty rough. 122, 3 leadership. Ouch! Oh my god, what a comeback, and also a bit of a misplay there. If he just kept Teclis in the sky and split all of his infantry into like 5 groups away from each other, he would have 100% won that game. Like, no way the Dark Elves could have won. But committing to that blob against Malus with the freaking, look at the sorceress, 3,400 value on Pit of Shades. Even Malus MEMEBLADE got 2,400 in his human form because it's currently bugged. It doesn't show the combined values of both attacks. So he probably got closer to like 4,000 there, which is pretty impressive. And yeah, I mean, it was a good game. It was fun. Obviously mistakes on both sides, but man, that ending was worth every penny. 2,700 on Peklis, and yeah, the sisters ended up doing pretty good as well. GG, well played. Thanks to the Samurai Warrior for sending in that glorious meme showdown. He's going to be representing Malus Darkblade in the Legendary Lords tournament, which is going on, so you guys will be seeing replays from that. And that's pretty much it, my friends. Thanks again for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed that wild card game, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.